But my name is Jacob Adamovich, and I'll kind of start with the problem. So I'd like all of you to put yourself in the shoes of a 20-year-old college student, because our story begins with a student named Danielle. And I'm going to skip forward a little bit to the point where Danielle finds out her current roommate is selling drugs. That's bad, not a good issue. Also, conflict of interest, she's studying to become a law enforcement officer. So, not too good. She tried various times to tell her roommate to stop, and she did not. Therefore, she was left with no choice but to kick her out. After she kicked her out, we know that rent in Miami is very expensive, and affording it as a college student isn't really doable. So she immediately had to find somebody to fill that space. With no tools and no resources in the middle of the semester, she did the best she could, and she found somebody on Craigslist. This is where the story kind of turns for the worst. She then finds this person on Craigslist, meets with them. They ended up telling her X, Y, and Z, who they are. It ended up being that they're not a student. Everything they told her was completely wrong. And 1 week after moving in with her, she was put into a coma. Now, we reached out to Danielle through her GoFundMe and really learned about her story. And I know this is an extreme story, but it's an issue that college students face because when they're coming to a new university, it's often their first time finding housing, it's often their first time being on their own, and if they're anything like me, they're thousands of miles away from their parents. And one thing that's in common is that finding housing to rent and compatible roommates to live with is probably the major problem on college campuses. That leads to a slew of safety issues. And these safety issues and unsatisfactory results for students trickle down to housing. And they're one of the top 5 reasons students drop out of college, which for housing communities leads to vacancies. Mid-semester vacancies are even worse. And not just that, at the very root of it, these housing communities don't really have a way of targeting these students anyway. So what's the solution? The solution is RoomDig, a student-exclusive platform that empowers students to find the housing they like with the roommates that best fit them. Utilizing our proprietary verification system, we ensure that students, and only students, are able to access our platform. Therefore, had Danielle used our platform, her roommate would have never been able to get past our verification. Next, we used our personalized on- and off-campus housing search, where students can find all type of listings, whether it's just a bed, a full bedroom, or a full house and apartment. It's up to them. And our specialized roommate finder enables them to find compatible roommates that best fit them. And that's not always the person that's exactly like you. We're targeting the 21 million college students in the United States at over 7,000 universities and colleges nationwide, with over $130 billion spent on college student rental leases annually. Our competitive landscape, well, we have some companies that only offer housing solutions, where if a student wants to go find a roommate, they have to go to a whole new platform. There's others that only offer roommate solutions. Therefore, if they want to find housing, they have to go to another platform. And the ones that offer both don't really do a good job of doing either. And the most important part is that none of them are student exclusive. That's where we differentiate ourselves, is that not only we offer housing, but we also offer roommates, and we only do that for students. Our business model, well, to ensure no barrier of entry for college students, it's completely free to use and sign up. The way we generate revenue is through housing communities that pay us $7,200 per year per community. The way we get the word out is first, we approach these student housing communities, we offer them our services, and they put all their listings on our platform. We then go on campus, and through word of mouth, student events, social media, news, and press, we gain our users in that area, and then we can begin charging the student housing communities. And we know this works because we've signed 3 contracts for over $21,600. We have student and customer validation that not only does our platform work, but it produces results. We have over 4,000 users with a 60% active user rate. One of our most compelling competitive advantages is our key partnerships with 2 of the largest student housing communities in the country that enables us to use their networks to scale and grow at greatly reduced costs. And none of this possible without us. Our software engineering is led by Mason Tucker. He's a self-taught full-stack developer, also a Y Combinator startup school grad and student at Florida Gulf Coast University. And myself, I've been a Florida realtor for over 4 years, therefore I see the perspective not only from the student, but from the professional. Also Forbes 30 Under 30 Fellow, and I graduated FGCU Entrepreneurship just this past weekend. Some of our accomplishments, we're almost there. Some of our accomplishments is we've raised $36,000 in equity-free funding. We actually just found out yesterday we got another $7,500. Over 6 pitch competitions, including the Florida Governor's Cup. We are Y Combinator Startup School graduates, and we received a proclamation from the City of Estero. Some of our financial projections, again, this is for the Florida Venture Forum. We're on track to gaining 20 customers this year. Hopefully we can do even more, so gaining revenue. And funding. We'll be seeking at the Florida Governor's Cup a minimum investment of $100,000 to reach 60 customers and generate $1.8 million of revenue. And this will enable us to speed up our process and get the things that we need. So lastly, my name is Jacob Adamovich, and we are RoomDig, a student-exclusive platform that empowers students to find the housing they like with the roommates that best fit them. Thank you very much.
Awesome job. Any questions for this amazing young man?
Jacob, how do you verify the student status?
I'd have to kill you if I told you. I actually can't tell you the entire thing because we actually developed that by ourselves. But it's a multi-layer system, so we ensure that on multiple layers, and then at any point our system is unable to verify that, we ask for university documentation, college documentation, things like that.
Any other question?
I guess mine would go around that too, and then the background process, obviously. I've helped raise capital for a platform that's very similar to this, but very well known.
Awesome.
Verification process, background process is very crucial these days.
Yeah, no, it's very important, especially with students, because this is their first time finding housing, so they don't always know what questions to ask. How do you know if somebody's lying or not? This is, and it's their first time even finding rent, so they don't know what to expect. So that, by doing those things, utilizing that technology, we're eliminating the amount of hoops students have to jump through, making it easier, making their choices much better to make.
Criminal background process.
That as well.
So, sorry. What do you do with universities that don't have the off-campus communities? Like FGCU now has those communities. When I was a student there, they didn't exist. I used to be a professor at Ball State, for example. The students have the dorms or all the private houses around in Muncie, Indiana. So a lot of my students, when they couldn't find housing, I was the one contacting the local people to make sure it was safe and legit and all that. So it's a great idea, but what do you do when we don't have those student-focused communities and it's still renting by room or the private renter house owner situation?
So our team is very small, so everything you see is built to be literally run by like a single person, as efficient as possible. So we're also targeting 100%. Those single property owners can definitely post their listings on our platform. They have to, each person has to get approved by us. So eliminating you having to go to 50 other people and figuring out if they even, at the first step, even offer renting for students, because a lot of people don't even want students renting their listings. So we kind of do all that and make it easier. But yeah, definitely single property owners, universities, housing communities, essentially we fit all those, but our specific target market for the purpose of revenue and doing everything to that.
Any last questions?
Have you identified the size of that community that's out there?
The student housing communities?
The larger institutions such as the ones we have now.
Yeah, so the $130 billion figure, that's the revenue spent on student leases alone. And as far as that market, those two key partners, they're two of the largest student housing companies in our industry. And essentially throughout their 300 plus communities nationwide, we're essentially partnering with them to scale at reduced costs and kind of pull resources, use each other's resources to help each other out.
Have you done any financial projections that you're going to share tomorrow?
Yes. So our financial projections are going to be right here. You can't see 2021, that's a secret, no, I'm kidding. So these are some of our financial projections. This is, with our current funding, us reinvesting all of our revenue back into the company and running it exactly how it is being run right now.
student-based.
Totally student-based.
The parents are not involved at all.
We're working, so as we develop it further, we want ways that parents can go on it, but keeping it private just to students is kind of what we want to focus with, and it's what we do best.
I'm just curious, is there an age where like legality in each of the states? I mean, is it 18? I don't know.
For rental leases, so for us, our platform is any college student. So any person enrolled in a university, if they're not enrolled in a university, they will not be able to use this platform.
So is there anything the community could do for you?
Yes, a lot. I'm sure a lot of you have grandchildren, kids, nephews in college. Let them know about this. If you guys know any housing communities, single property owners that could be potentially useful for us and for them, we greatly appreciate any help. But the way we've spread is through word of mouth, through people telling other people about this and that it works. So just by telling one extra person that you know would be everything for us. So thank you very much.
Give a round of applause. This guy's great.